Greetings family. My name is June from juneallen.net, and I teach people how to heal from the impact of racism through personal empowerment and racial sobriety. I just wanted to jump on and have a quick conversation with those of you that are doing the work. Just know that you're a badass. Just know that you are badass. And you know why? Because it's not easy doing the internal work. It takes guts to do the work. It takes courage to do the work. And I just want to encourage you to just keep going. Just keep going. I know sometimes it might feel like, oh my God, when is this going to end? It feels relentless. And sometimes you might even have times where you feel that the ignorance is better than actually having the awareness. But trust me when I say that there will come a time where this stuff is going to drop down at heart level and you are just going to feel so good about yourself. And I'm having one of those moments today. I don't know, I just had a really good session with my therapist today, and oh my gosh, I had such a good session with my therapist today. And he was just, I don't know, he wasn't any different, but I just felt really present in my body. I felt really confident about who I am. You know, there were a couple of times where I said stuff and I thought, who's that chick? I thought, who's that chick? And it's me. And it's because I've done the work. It's because I haven't given up. So every time you show up for yourself, every time you set a boundary to say yes to yourself, every time you show up at a recovery meeting, every time you show up at your therapist, every time you show up at a coaching session or whatever it is, your mentorship session, just remember, you just got to keep doing the work. Just remember that it's a journey. It's not a destination. There's no destination. But the more that you do this work, you are going to have more and more moments in your life where you're going to feel invincible. I know that sounds like quite a strong word, but that sense of empowerment, I feel like no one can touch me at the moment. I'm feeling really strong, like inside myself. And that's my higher power. That's raw inside me, like saying, see, I told you, you just have to trust me. Sometimes on this journey, when it's really hard, you just got to trust the process. You got to respect the process, even when you don't know what the hell's going on. Even if you think that things can't get any worse, you have just got to keep going. And sometimes when keep going doesn't mean that you ignore what's going on inside you. Sometimes keeping going means that you take a break. Does that make sense? Sometimes keeping going means that you need to pull back. And what I mean by that is, let me give you an example. I've been feeling quite burnt out for the last few weeks. I just did finish the 6-week mastermind and it just completely wiped me out. And you know, it got towards the end of the mastermind and I started thinking, oh, what's the next thing? What's the next thing that I need to be doing? But I knew in order to move forward, I had to step back. So what I did, in order to keep going, I had to underschedule, take some time out, sleep, look at my food, and just check in with my body. What was my body telling me? What was my body advising me to do? And the more I've done that, the more I've been able to take action on what my needs are. And so now I feel like my body's now saying, okay, you've done some restorative work. Now I can start thinking about getting back on the wagon. Getting back on the wagon with the next project, because I've listened to my body. So sometimes in order to go forward, you have to step back. But see, a lot of us are so used to being mules and workhorses that even though our body is screaming stop, you still keep going. I'm a workaholic. I know, I get it. I get it. I get it. So just know that it's about taking the journey, taking the steps with compassion and with an awareness and an understanding that it doesn't mean that you drive yourself into the ground while you're doing this. You've got to take the appropriate steps, and you've got to know when to step back. You've got to know when to step forward, and you've got to know when to step back. If you want to do this work for the long haul, you've got to know when to step back. You've got to know when to step back. Just one last thing I'm going to leave you with. Just know that if you've chosen to do the work, you are one of the lucky ones. You are one of the lucky ones. Because the future that you have in front of you means that you're going to pave the way for others to be able to do the same and more what you've done. You're one of the lucky ones. Not everybody can do this work. Not everybody can do this work. This work frightens a lot of people because it takes guts and it takes courage to be able to look at stuff, not only the stuff that's gone on in your life, the stuff that's gone on historically that ain't got nothing to do with you, but that it's been passed on. Yeah, it's been passed on, and you've been left to deal with it. That's what happens when you start doing this work. So it's not for everybody. But for those of you that are, keep doing the work. Keep taking care of yourself. Keep showing up. I promise you it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be so worth it. I'll see you next time.